What challenges you have faced working with front-end and mobile app developers?
This is amazing. In the beginning, I'm actually this. I didn't know much about the application myself, so I was actually the some of the time I tested some feature really from the UI perspective. Well, I'm happy. I see the result. Everything is working fine, and the front end developer is they're happy. Everything is working fine. But the moment the back end developer is asking us question, we are basically now. Basically, we don't know the answer because we the both the my front end developer I am we are the similar to the UI person, and we did not take enough time. The back end developer said you need to take enough time to go to the back end API how this logic work. So what we did because it happens when I join multiple project in the beginning or the new. So when the backend developer found out this, so actually the product manager arranged actually uh, the the two meetings every week, once 1 hour. So he actually coaches us how the entire things work. This recorded so that we can use as the references. Also, the provided the not only the technology changes, how to get the access permission, how to go to the each of the system and to verify the changes. And one thing I learned that the before the front end, the implementation of the mobile app implementation, I was the one responsible for the deep dive of the backend testing. And the some project I was actually the responsible, some project I was not. The project I was not responsible, I work with the other QA and they are fully responsible for the backend testing. So actually collaborated with them, collected their APIs and take time to meet with them and then actually the go over which feature and the API I needed from their API so that I can verify myself. So we built this our the QA standard best practices. And I found at the front end, unfortunately, they did not do the best practices. So I found out my front end developer start consuming the API right after the back end developer actually exposed the API because the API exposed through the Swagger. So I start exposing. Once I start the testing on the front end and I can see all this error is coming. And I said, what happened with this? He said, well, the API was developed the couple of days ago. I just built it. I said, probably you are missing the entire the bug, the communication happening between the our team and the backend team. So then we actually came up the approach that, well, you do not actually let's not implement the front end at all. Let's design the front end and review the front end with the UI UX designer and then wait for the signal from the QA team that the backend testing is done. Once you get the signal, then you can start implementing the front end, consuming the backend APIs. So once this approach has been implemented, we also implemented another approach that once the QA the complete the testing, QA will be providing you a like the happy path test suite for the all of the endpoint that you need to implement, consume for the front end. You have to go through the each of this and you need to ask the question. Means set up a meeting, ask the questions. If all your question is answered, now you should be able to implement the front end. So basically, this kind of challenge happening back and forth. But as the challenge is coming, we figured out the solution and we work it out. And the same process for the mobile app. Once we actually we have done the implementation and the process improvement for the front end, we actually the implemented the same approach for the mobile app team as well. Because we use the cross the platform mobile application development, we do not have the Android developer or we do not have the iOS developer separately. We use the cross platform React Native.